Kick it, PIG style. Cause today on the Rock and Metal Faith, we're talking about One Good Cow and the album Banana Split. Oh wait, sorry, that's wrong. We're gonna talk about Some Kind of Chicken. No, wait, that's wrong too. We're talking about the album One Bad Pig and I Scream Sunday. All right,
Okay,
yeah.
I heard that. Wow.
Yeah, we're talking today on the Rock and Metal Faith, the band One Bad Pig, with their album I Scream Sunday. We thought it would start off kind of in a comical mood. I always found One Bad Pig to be kind of a comical type band. At least I hope that's how they meant to be, because I think that's how they take themselves as well. And yeah, we're talking about I Scream Sunday. Hopefully this is an interesting episode, a fun episode. I think it'll be interesting. I'm not sure Chris's opinion on this record. It might be a mixed review, but what do you guys see about that, Chris?
I think the only comment I could say about the One Bad Pig was I had a bacon sandwich earlier, so to all our fans out there who are like environmentally friendly, we love animals. Okay, now this band, I didn't really get into that much. I don't know any songs really.
Let's start the intro theme. Play this one too.
What a shame.
All right. So yeah, we're talking about One Bad Pig, Ice Cream. We'll get into that a little later. We do have some news and all our usual stuff coming up first.
I have this urge all of a sudden to go get a blizzard now.
All right. Welcome to the Rock and Metal Faith Podcast, where music and faith collide. If you like hardcore Jesus rock and roll, or are just curious to what it's all about, you've come to the right place. From the classic bands to the up-and-comers and all those in between. We talk about them all right here. So come and join us. We rock the hell out of you as we rock for the king. I'm your host, as always, Aaron Rockman H., joined by my great friend and co-host, Chris. Mr. Cool, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you? It's screaming hot here in Alberta, and I mean, we only get it once a year, but wow. How are you?
Good. It's hot. Good time to go for an ice cream sundae.
Yes, that we're not doing a sales pitch for Dairy Queen, but their blizzards are very good, okay?
Anyways, yeah, the reason I thought I would do this, actually, I've been trying to do this a little earlier in the summer here, I guess. We're recording this, and this is going to come out basically at the end of the summer. And I thought, this would be a good fun band to talk about. Sometime I wanted to talk about some fun stuff. And it just so happens things kind of get pushed back a little bit because we had opportunities. The last episode, we were talking with the drummer from Iron Wrath. That was a great conversation. Great band. If you have not heard them, check them out.
Yes, check them out.
If you have not heard the interview, go back and check that out.
Yeah, check out the interview. Though I saw you did the edit of when at the end when he was doing a shout out for us.
Yes.
Poor guy.
You know what? I left that in the episode, and I thought I would do the put in a little promo because it was funny.
Yeah, that's right. Poor guy though, poor guy. I was almost thinking afterwards that I told my dad, he's like, maybe you guys should develop like little cards for your guests. I'm like, well, if I've decided if that happens more than once,
Yeah.
I I think I'll do that. But that was just maybe he had a hard day, and.
Yeah, we all have these little, as they call them, brain farts or moments. That's all right.
But it was great interview, great guy. Go check out the band, guys.
It
It's
was.
a little heavier, but not
Well,
like these guys we're going to talk about.
no. And coming up in September, we're going to talk about something really heavy beyond
Boy,
our comfort zone. But, there might be listeners out there that are into that. So, like I said, we talk about it all here, type of thing. Our main focus is, the 80s bands, the bands that you and I grew up listening to. I grew up with One Bad Pig. Before we get too far into them, like I said, I do want to talk about some news we got. Anyways, we've got a couple new subscribers. I think there's new subscribers to our YouTube channel. So a big welcome to Sean Carter and John Key Music. Welcome to the program.
yeah, welcome.
And be sure to check out all the other stuff we got going on. We've got a Facebook page, Facebook group page, where once in a while we'll post songs or videos of who we've been playing. You'll see promos, whatever, and we're all on all the socials. And you know what? Definitely get in touch with us. Whether you're a long-term listener or a new listener, you can reach out to us through comments, reviews, and emails. Emails are always for us are always listed in the show notes. So go ahead.
Yes, we love comments, but please be nice. You know, we are two sensitive guys,
We've got some comments too. I just got to find them. Let's go back here. Notification. Okay, so I'm going to read these out. We got Soldier7778, who I guess is watching us on YouTube, and he makes comments on some of our past episodes here. And from the episode of Christian rock guitarist from 73 to 53, he's got a big long comment here. He says, I'll list a few of my favorite albums or near perfect albums that he would rank 8 out of 10 or 9 or 10. And he goes, Daniel Band's Run from the Darkness, Joshua Intense Defense, X Center's Get It.
Oh,
And he says he met the lineup, and one former member is actually from his area in Newfoundland. So, hey, we got a listener in Newfoundland. So, shout out to you.
yeah,
Thanks for
that's
listening.
awesome. Speaking of X Center, did you see that they're promoting the new album?
Yeah, that's almost done. That actually was going to be in my news section. Other favorite albums of him was Barren Cross, A State of Control. I'm going to skip some of the Rez's Between Heaven and Hell. That might be his favorite Rez, he says. And you know what? That's a great album, too. I'm getting into some of the older Rez slowly. Picked that one up. I really like that one. He also likes Petra's More Power to You. Mastodon's It's a Jungle Out There. Holy Soldier's Debut. Oh, that's a great one. Blood Goods Out of the Darkness. Saints Times End. He says, regarding Striper, most of their albums are near perfect, depending on which era. And he also says that about the first 3 White Cross albums, near perfect. And I would say that too. There's only about one Striper record I really do not like, and we'll get in that when we get that album review. As far as the episode on Against the Law, he says, great episode. Also from Canada, and Striper's my favorite band. Even though the Christian themes are not up front on Against the Law, there's still some Christian themes there, like staying away and being careful of questionable women, fighting for your marriage through the hard times, and being united as families and as church. It's not their best album, but I quite like it most of the songs. And he thinks he would rank it higher than In God We Trust. As And one more comment from the Bloodgood episode. We got a couple comments on there. He says the Bloodgood episode. Bloodgood is a great episode. Bloodgood is one of my top favorite bands. Mark Wellington played on both Detonation and Rock in a Hard Place. Kevin Whistler played on Out of the Darkness, the live albums, and then Dangerously Close. And PJ Bostic was a touring drummer for Bloodgood in the early 90s, and they called it quits in 93. He was mentioned in the documentary, and I guess he runs a YouTube channel as well. He said on his next episode on his YouTube channel, he'll try and do a shout out to us. So thanks for that.
Yeah, those are great comments.
I think we talked about that one too. Okay. And what else we got? Yeah, so you mentioned that X Sinner has been promoting their new record. It's almost finished. He says this still got work on a couple of tracks to do. And what else?
Those are new guys for X Center, right?
That I'm not sure if it's the same lineup or not. You know what? Maybe the next time I see them comment on Facebook there or post on Facebook, I'll ask them. I said, hey, who is in the band currently? Who's in the lineup? And kind of compare it to what we've got. I've got the first two on. Actually, I got the first three. I got the first two on cassette back in the days when you bought cassette tapes, and I've got the next one, World Covered in Blood. I think as a digital download, and I'm not sure. I'm kind of looking forward to that one. Also, actually talking about new releases now in news. Reign of Glory, his new one, is due out really soon. I was looking for it on Amazon, and they are gonna have it, but they say available September 1st. It's available right now as a pre-order, so you can put your order in, and September 1st, when it's available, they'll ship it out to you, charge you, and ship it out to you. I have seen it and already have been listening to it through Spotify. I have not seen it available on the Apple downloads or to buy the digital downloads on Apple yet. So this is kind of interesting. It's available on Spotify before it's available anywhere else. Now, Reign of Glory was at Immortal Fest, so I'm wondering if they had physical CDs there to sell to fans.
Is Reign of Glory their third album or second?
Well, Reign of Glory, no, this is their second one. Reign of Glory,
okay,
is the name of the band. The first one, I can't remember the name of the first one. I'd have to look that up. I bought that as a digital download because I couldn't get the physical copy. Once I discovered Reign of Glory last year with them being at last year's Immortal Fest, they blew me away just listening to them and doing the research. First one came out in 2022 called All Will Bow, and that's a great album too. If you can find it anywhere, I suggest getting that one. And if you can't find it, do like I did, buy the digital download. The new one coming out has a new singer than what the first one did. So, we've got bands going through changing lineups early in their career. Things are the way they are. I'm glad I've heard it on Spotify. It sounds good. Again, a different singer, but it sounds good. And I'm looking forward to that one. Anything else coming out? Petra's working on a new one, so we'll have to wait and see what that's going to sound like. Hopefully, well, it's Petra. It's going to be good, right?
Yeah, that's her.
All right. We'll get cool with an ice cream sundae in a bit. Talking about, I think that's about it now.
Time to plug it in and turn it up.
All right. For the plug it in, we were talking in the news about X Center working on a brand new record. Also, we talked a couple weeks back about their album Get It is available on Bandcamp. For those who don't have it, if you're a Christian hard rock fan back when it first came out, I don't know why you wouldn't have it. Now, if you're a newer fan, a younger fan, and this came out before your time, then I get it. And you should get it because it's a good record.
Yeah, it really is. What do you think your top two songs of it?
That's hard to say because it was all good. You know what? There were no ballads on that record. I liked that
I know,
record.
I know. That's why I'm asking you.
Well, every year on around Halloween, there I like to play in Halloween Christian themed Halloween songs. There was a song on there
Do you?
called yeah.
Okay.
There was one on there called "Walking Evil," kind of talking about the devil walking
Yes.
around, and that was a good one. Uh, I'm actually gonna play one of my favorites on there too, uh, off that album because, like I said, it kind of was making the news. The band's making the news. I thought let's go back to the first record and play the first track off of there, "Medicine."
That's a good song. Yes.
All right, a little "Medicine" for you.
That's a good song. Yeah.
It is good. Great band. I know people like to debate, wow, Exeter sound like AC/DC, and then others go, well, they didn't sound like AC/DC. They sound like early Def Leppard.
Yeah. I was craving to hear that this week, so
Were you?
that's cool.
There you go. Yeah, and yeah, there was some Def Leppard type riffs in the
Yeah.
first album. But remember, too, Def Leppard, when they started out, wanted to be a cross between AC/DC and Queen. It was like
That's right.
AC/DC with the harmonies and vocals of Queen. So AC/DC, Def Leppard, it's kind of all the same.
I think for me the reason I liked Extern was the vocals are so different. The way he sings it's so unique.
Yeah. Well, that's, I think, too, where the AC/DC reference came in. He had that rasp in his voice, kind of the same as AC/DC used it as well. So I think that's into the controversy.
That's right.
But recently, too, John Cooper from Skillet was on stage kind of doing a tribute to Ozzy as well. And I actually didn't see that, kind of just saw the headline. I think he played part of a song of Ozzy's or something like that. Uh, Ozzy with that dark image, but that was all image. Where when you dive into the lyrics, a lot of the lyrics actually were pretty uplifting. And a lot of people will argue, and I think I'll agree with his argument, that he had a big influence on the metal scene in general, including the Christian metal scene, because a lot of Christian metal artists did listen to Ozzy, were influenced by Ozzy, and were impressed with what he had done. And I think, everybody says, well, you got to be Christian. You can only be influenced by Christians. Not necessarily so. We've talked to a lot of people, listening to a lot of other artists as well. So that's my take on that. All right. On to One Bad Pig. So you said you haven't heard much of One Bad Pig over the years?
I mean, honestly, I don't even remember. I know I heard it probably with you in your car, and it just went because it was so loud and like my mom prior to the show I was with her, and she's like, so what's the band like? I'm like, well, I'll put it this way, I listened to it and they're not in my music library because they're just a little, they're way above Tourniquet, like they're like, no.
That I think you're thinking about someone we're planning on having on down the road. These guys weren't
Okay.
that heavy. These guys weren't that heavy, other than I would kind of describe them as a Christian punk band. I don't remember exactly when I first heard them. I probably heard them from the friends and people I was hanging out with in high school. I do own the album one or Ice Cream Sunday, and if you haven't seen it, here it is.
Yes.
Uh, uh,
I remember at the Bible bookstore, I saw that album that they were selling, and I listened to it, and I'm like, no. And the lady's like, you didn't like it? I'm like, no, no. I like heavy stuff, but I'd like to be able to hear the words once in a while. Yeah.
Can understand the words in this. This
Could
is,
you?
oh yeah,
Okay.
easily.
I mean, they're great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you got confused with somebody else. Great little cover though. I mean, here you
Yeah.
got this broken stained glass window and the One Bad Pig icon
And
meta.
there's no pig in there.
Yes, there is.
Incredible.
Yes, there is. Look.
Yeah, there is right there. I had to look. You're right. Yeah.
And then on the back there is this cover, the band in a room. They all look like skaters, and there's a bunch of ice cream sundaes around them and stuff like this. I I found it funny. The album is called I Scream Sunday. They have that name or a song by that name on there. They also have a song called Ice Cream Sunday
I scream Sunday. Okay.
and Ice Cream Sunday. Anyways, the other thing I want to talk about before we get into the first song, they had 3 songs on here that were really short, less than a minute. So I didn't want to really play a snippet of them because by the time you got into the song was over. You'd be playing the whole song. They had one song on here, 48 seconds, called Not Love Money. Number 10 was Up the Nose, coming in at 55 seconds.
Wow.
Talking about not loving money, and Up the Nose was about doing drugs and you're blowing everything up the nose and all that. Very straightforward to the point. Let's cut cut the corners and get right to what we have to say. The other thing was, and I'm not sure what the point of this song was, they have a 20-second song called Pad Thai. And they just play a few chords and go, Pad Thai, da, 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 Pad Thai. And that's the song.
Alrighty then. Like, maybe they just needed something to fill time.
I think One Bad was one of these bands kind of as, what I was going to say is a joke. And I don't think they were a joke because they were quality musicians. They just had humor about them. It's like take the humor of Weird Al, mix it in with punk, mix it in with the Christian scene, and you've got One Bad Pig. And rumor has it that they got their name. They were out at a barbecue or a feast somewhere or whatever, and they had a roast pig sitting on the table with an apple in its mouth and everything like this. And they were joking around and they said, "Man, that's one bad pig." And they heard that and thought, "That's kind of funny. Yeah, let's use that as our band name." you know. So I don't know if
My
that's
goodness.
true. I don't know if that's true or just a myth, but anyways, I like it.
Where are they based? Do we know? Like Louisiana?
Not sure on that.
Okay.
The album we're talking about, One Ice Cream Sundae, came out in 1991, released on Myrrh Records, a division of Word Incorporated. If you're in Canada, we're like me, like us, you got it on Word Records or Myrrh Records. That was a division of Word. It was produced by Billy Smiley. Now, for those who don't know One Bad Pig, on drums, they had Philip Owens. On bass was Daniel Tusick. Guitars was Paul Hugh Peck. And described as vocals lead screamer, Carrie Kosher Womack. Well, that's what they meant when they says, "Hey, Kosher, what are you talking about?" They're referencing their main vocalist. Okay, now I get it.
Yeah. Boy, you're just full of jokes today, aren't you?
Well, some of these are their jokes. Like I said, summertime. Let's have a little fun. I
Yeah.
was thinking about getting into this. There's a few other albums I want to get to, and like I said before, I plan the schedule, and then opportunities pop up. We got people contacting us, want to do interviews, want to be on the show, and I'll listen to them. Go, are they worthwhile? And we'll see how that. I think most times they are, even if their music style is out of our range or not something we would purchase. I'm sure there's people out there that listen to what they have to put out, and so we want to present it to the listeners who are interested in that. So sit back. I hope you're have fun with this episode, and take a look at yourself. Track one.
Hey, Kosher, what are you talking about? Kosher, what are you talking about? Rebecca, Kosher, till he pukes. Watch this. What a shame. All right.
Preaching on Sunday morning, all right what to say. Does the congregation know what's going through your head? This new distractions, a man you can hide. Mirror of your heart says you just can't let it slide. Take a look, take a look at yourself. Oh yeah. Take a look, take a look at yourself.
There we go.
Oh, come on. I was getting to do it.
See, not a bad band.
They're not bad. They're not bad.
No.
That reminds me of the old days being at Youth Fest.
Okay.
I don't know if they were there, but there was a band like them, and that gave us like headaches like you wouldn't believe. The poor kids were like jumping off the stage. we're trying to catch them, make sure they don't fall into cement.
Right.
I'm like, oh my gosh. And then after the show, we met the guys, and the guy's like, well, this was nothing, man. When we were in England, it was like 5 times as bad. I'm like, my gosh. So like, is this actually biblical? He's like, sure, you pray for them after. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, you gotta have some fun. You really do.
Good song. Take a look at yourself. It's all about, taking a look in the mirror, not getting too smug, and making sure you are walking down the right path, though, type of thing. And stuff. I like it. Starts out. They don't do a lot of riffing. It's a lot of stuff built around chord progressions that, again, reminds me of punk or the Ramones or something like this, but just amped up a little more screaming. I still like it though.
I like the guy's voice. I will give him that. He's got that nice sound that suits him. And it reminds me of, do you remember Goaty Hook?
I never listened to them much. I've heard of them.
Okay. I think these two bands would be similar.
Okay. All right. On to track 2. You're a pagan.
Feeling low, smoke a joint, cuts real loud, make a point, rock and rolls, all you play, always get your own way. Where you going? Where you been? Your cruddy heart is full of sin. In the words of Kenneth Hagan, face the facts. You're a pagan! You're a pagan! With a capital P! You're a pagan! Full of idolatry! You're a pagan! That is what you be! Face the facts and call like pagan! You're a pagan!
There you go. You're a pagan.
Briefly. The opening was cool. That's why I got into it briefly. But the rest of it, I'm like, oh my God. Lord.
Not one of your favorites?
No, but that sounds familiar. That song, I think I've heard that song live. So
Okay, could
that's
be.
why it rang a bell.
You know, I didn't dig it out, but I do have the live record. They put out a live record after this one called Live Blow the House Down. This, I think, was their third album. They did Swine Flu and Smash, and then this one. So I did listen to some of the older stuff after I got into them. This was the only one I was able to buy, though. But yeah, not bad. I kind of like it. First we hear You're a Pagan, gets you kind of easy into who One Bad Pig is. For me, this is my
I
first
don't know if
taste.
Christians are supposed to headbang. That's I was just doing it because it just felt good in the moment. That's all.
I think a lot of people would differ you on that. Once we get into the heavy core.
They get heavier than that. Oh my God.
No, they don't. But when we start talking about thrash bands, yes.
There, I have limits, and this would exceed it. The furthest I go is like the tourniquet mortification. This
Right. Well, that's pretty heavy, I think.
it is, but I mean, admit to our audience, I was wrong. Okay, I thought One Bad Pig. I thought I would never be able to hear the words, but I admit I was wrong.
Yeah. I told you to sit back and then have a listen to, or obviously you didn't get that message or whatever. But yeah, no, the words are easy to understand, and You're a Pagan, I think, is calling out all those who may think they're Christian but aren't, type of thing. I'm not really sure because everything they're describing in the verses, it's pretty clear that those people are not Christians. And if you're not a Christian, yes, you are a pagan. Um, you know, they talk about Carl Sagan and evolution and all that, and call him out. I don't think Carl Sagan ever thought he was a Christian, so I'm not really sure how the verses match the chorus, other than stating the obvious.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Is One Bad Pig out of that church in L.A.?
Not sure. Now, where this was recorded has nothing to do with where they're based from, but this album was recorded in Tennessee, recorded at Bennett House in Franklin and at Omni Sound in Nashville. And then
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, then unless they're sound engineers, the house chef.
Wow, they went to the country hub of the world and they did. Wow.
You know what? Nashville actually is all about all kinds of music, not just
Yeah. Oh, I
country.
know. Yeah. Yeah. Probably have some good producers there in Nashville.
All right. One of my favorite songs coming up at track 3 here. Now, we got to pronounce this correctly because, as I said, there were 2 songs on here that sound the same, spelt differently. This is I Scream Sunday. There we go. So again, the message is pretty straightforward. Music is pretty upbeat. It's for all those living for the world during the week. And he says, you can live for this, you can live for that. Guess what? I'm living for Sunday. I'm going to scream Sunday because that's the day of the Lord.
That's a good song. I was almost tempted to go into a U2 Bloody Sunday thing, you know?
Nothing at all like U2.
Hey, well, come on. It would mix. Come on.
That would be something to try. If we could get mashups between One Bad Pig and U2 going.
That would be awesome. That would be different, wouldn't it? I don't
All
know
right.
if U2 management would actually go for that, though.
I don't know. But yeah, I like that one. There's another track on
Yeah,
here
it's a good
all about
song.
Ice Cream Sunday. That gets a little more comical, actually. But yeah, the music along throughout this whole record isn't anything special or great when you compare it to other records. It is what it is. It's upbeat. It's fast. It's rocks. And yeah, I mean, I like it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite record, but it's a good record to listen to, I think.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I only like that. I just like that song right now. So
It's a
that's
good
all I'm
song.
good. Yeah.
And the next song features guest vocals. And at first you think, oh, they're doing a duet with a country star. But apparently no. The vocals were recorded by JB at Quad Studios, and those are not the initials of who you think it is. So what I think is they had a sound alike. I know I first played this and my wife happened to be in the car as I was listening to this, trying to get, refresh my memory listening to the record. And this song came on and he starts off, he goes, "Hello, I'm," and she goes, "No, it's not." This is why you never know. Maybe they did a collaboration with him and they're doing his song. This is actually a cover tune, is what I'm talking about. The next song is a cover tune of a Johnny Cash tune. So we're talking about mashups. You thought Ice Cream Sunday reminded you of U2. On track 4, they're covering Johnny Cash. But there's a voice on here that sounds like Johnny Cash. And it starts off like most Johnny Cash tunes does, where he says, "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash." And when that song came on, my wife says, "No, you're not." And I thought, well, maybe it is. Maybe they did do a duet with him. I now reading the credits, I'm not so sure that they did. So whether they did or didn't, this is their cover of Johnny Cash tune, "Man in Black."
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. Well, you wonder why I always dress in black, why you never see bright colors on my back, and why does my appearance seem to have a somber tone? There's a reason for the things that I have on.
I wear the black for the poor and beaten down, living in the homeless, hungry side of town. I wear it for the prisoner who is low paid for his crime, but is there because he's a victim of the times.
Well, I wear the black for those who never read or listened to the words that Jesus said about the road to happiness through love and charity. Why, you'd think he's talking straight to you and me.
We're doing mighty fine, I do suppose, and I drink a lot of cars and fancy clothes. But just so we're reminded of the ones who are held back, up front, there ought to be a man in black.
I'm the man in black.
The man in black!
So there you go.
That was all right. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it. I'm not so sure how the Johnny Cash fans will take that one, but
Yeah, wow. See, we should do a country episode. Maybe that's a sign.
I don't know about a country ep. Well, no, I don't know about country episode. There is one record that is very country-ish that I do like, actually, by a Christian artist.
Breaking news. We have to put a clip on that. Breaking news.
No, we've talked about this before. The album is called "Always Look Up" by Van Zandt. If you haven't checked those guys out, they were described as a southern rock Christian band only because their respective bands as southern rock bands. Their latest album sounds more like a country record than a southern rock, but there are some good songs on there. There are a couple songs on that one that does sound like southern rock or a bit more rock, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about One Bad Pig.
At church, I do security once in a while. And 2 weeks ago, I was doing my thing, and a kid stopped me, and whatever. He's like, "I know your voice." I'm like, okay. He's like, "My dad listens to your, do you do a podcast?" I'm like, "Yes." So I told him shortly about it. Yeah, I thought that was really neat. And so he says, "I have a question." I'm like, and I knew what it was. He's like, "Why don't you guys talk about rap?" I'm like, "Well, first of all, that's not our thing." And I said, I'm sorry, but rap is completely different when it comes to that kind of genre.
Well, if we ever do any rap, you're leading the show. I know nothing about rap.
What, you won't join me?
Well, I'll be there, but or maybe I won't. I don't know.
You'll
But,
let me run it.
yes.
I see what you're saying. I think that would be fun. We'll get MC Hammer.
You do remember though, Chris? This is called the Rock and Metal Faith
Yes,
podcast.
but there's a rock in there, right?
Yes.
Which means everything.
No.
Well,
This is not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame where we include everything.
yes,
Christian
I know.
music podcast
I know.
where we're
I
going
know.
to talk about everything. We do have limits, although come September, I think we're going to stretch our limits into metalcore, which gets really heavy. We're going to have an interesting episode with that. All right, back to One Bad Pig though. I do like the fact that that guy's dad was listening to us, so shout out to him. Thanks for listening. And we love hearing from our listeners. So once again, don't forget to write in or leave a comment. I'm sure on any platform you're listening, you can either leave comments or reviews. But next up on the One Bad Pigs Ice Cream Sundae, we got a really interesting song. Despite the name of this song, when it came out back in 1991,
Wow.
my hair's a little shorter than it was back then, a little shorter than when I started the podcast. This was kind of one of my favorite songs because I understood the message of it over the title. Track 6, we're skipping 5. That's one of the short songs. 5 was Not Love Money. Like I said at the start of the episode, there is 3 really short songs. Hardly worth mentioning, hardly worth playing, because time you play the 10 seconds of the song, it's over. So moving on to track 6. This is Cut Your Hair.
You're so cool on the twisted string. Rock and roll star's what you wanna be. Getting up from your hands to your knees. With Luke and the priorities.
All right, so cut your hair.
Well, at least they're encouraging good hygiene, so that's good.
Well, I grew up, in high school. I had long hair. I actually kept my long hair for quite a while. Took me a
I
long time
remember
to
that.
took me a long time to get out of the 80s. I
It took a long time to get out of the 80s.
think I'm still there sometimes. Well, hey,
You
even my
still
wife's
there?
still. Yeah, I'm still here. Even my wife. Well, sometimes I'm still there. Even my wife. I mean, we hop in the car. We're always listening to hair metal on Sirius XM. So,
Yeah, get with 2025.
anyways, we all love listening to music that we grew up with. That's why we're doing this
Yeah,
podcast.
that's right.
Really.
Exactly. We want to encourage the ones who are still stuck in the 80s, just one step at a time, to come
No,
out.
no, stay there.
Well, we
Anyways,
know our fans out there. We know you can do it. We know Aaron has done it. You can do it.
all right. See, I told you this was gonna be a fun and entertaining episode.
Yeah.
No, so cut your hair. Yeah, despite the fact they're telling everybody cut your hair, it's really about getting your priorities in order. If you're having long hair, try and go around and be a rock star, but your life is falling apart, type of thing. Maybe you need to rethink your priorities. Type is really what the song's about.
I thought that'd be a song that their moms would enforce them to write about. you
Well,
know?
if you look at that picture that I showed at the start of the episode, there at the back there, and it's kind of a blurry picture. None of them have long hair, anyways. Like I said, these guys are trying to be punks, not long-haired '80s rock stars. So it works for them. And we cut the song off early. We're not, we never play the songs all the way through. We're only here to talk about them and play a review or do a review on them. But in the bridge, there's this great little line where after the solo, there he's kind of talking the lines, and he says, "Don't say Jesus had long hair too. Problem's not your hair, it's your attitude. God's not your king. Your hair is the boss." And then you stop all the music for a second and go, "Man, when was the last time you hung on a cross? Cut your hair!" So there you
Yeah,
go.
I heard that too. I'm like, the writing for that song was really good. I like that.
It is.
They make it all fit together.
Yeah, some people, their image, the way they look, kind of became their idol. And this is kind of trying to tear that down, is what it's trying to do. So I think it works.
When you had your long hair, how long did you have it for?
Quite a while. There were moments where I just cut it short and then I turn around and grow it out again.
Did you get any slack from in church?
No, not from the church. I got more slack from my parents when I first started growing out in high school.
I could see that. I've met your mom. Yeah. She would kind of be like my mom too, I think. Yeah. Aaron, cut your hair.
Yes, she
Yeah,
was all
my
about
mom
that.
would do that too.
She would have loved this song.
Yeah. Yeah, don't show her this episode, okay? What
All
about
right,
your dad? What about your dad?
He never said too much about it, actually.
Yeah, I thought he would just let it go. Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? In that genre, that's part of your identity,
Yeah.
right?
All right, so we move on from that to For a Good Man. This one actually slows down a little bit.
Little boy lived in fear. He won't be
There you go. For a Good Man. This one, I don't know, might be my least favorite on the album. Uh, those three short ones aside. This one just, I don't know, just doesn't move me as much as any of the others do.
Yeah, I like the opening. I like how they started it, and they could sing a little bit. Maybe they didn't want to show that all off, you know.
Maybe not. Yeah. They seem to go for a different sound in this one. You know, I think it's the first time they actually use clean guitars in a song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's definitely.
I mean, it
I
was
I mean,
okay, but your thoughts on
I
this?
would like the one we played before, and this one. That would be my favorite too.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you that at the end of the episode, but okay. Um, yeah, it's hard to pick my two favorites. I know. Well, I'll get into that at the end of the episode. I don't have too much to say about For a Good Man. I know that they're probably basing off that verse that Jesus used. Um, how does that go? You know, for good man, for a good man, some might lay their life down, or something like that. And I know I'm messing up that verse. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. I never understood that verse. They're basing the song. I think what they're saying is even for all the sinners, you know, Jesus died for you. So the message again is still a good message. It just musically, it just this is as close as they get to a ballad, and maybe that's why it's my least favorite off the record.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's and maybe they needed a break. You know, shit.
Oh,
I
could
mean,
be. I don't know.
yeah, they just go, wow. That must be what,
All
a
right.
60-minute album?
Well, it's a long. Well, there's 15 tracks, but remember, three of them are really short. Three of them together are less than or about the length of one song. So it's really about 12 songs worth, type of 12 or 13. And that leads us into number 8. The other song that sounds like another song on the record. This is a fun song. If it's hot outside, you want to go for an ice cream sundae.
Ice cream tastes so good, so sweet into nightmares in. Your sleep moves good with love. Our blood just grows so back to 10. Our blood's lost and circling mercury. Those are ever for me. Sugar highs and with the trick. In and out you press it back. Like an ice cream sundae. The world is like an ice cream sundae. The world is like an ice cream sundae. It's all going to melt someday. Banana split open.
There you go. What are your thoughts on that?
This episode was not brought to you by Alberta dairy farmers, okay? I mean, it's fine, right? That's cute. That's different.
Yeah, you know, it's a cute little chorus, which is a bit, you know, makes sense biblically. Oh, sorry, I can't say that, but biblically makes sense. You know, maybe not melt, but you know, if you read the Bible, the world is going to get destroyed at the end of the age. There will be a new heaven, new earth. The old ones are going to pass away. That's what they're trying to get. The verses really make no sense at all, in accordance with the chorus. So he's just talking about ice cream and different flavors and how ice cream is bad for you and all the ways it's bad for you. And then he goes on about how the world's going to melt like an ice cream sundae.
If we ever get to interview those guys, I want to ask them if they're associated with any dairy. You know, you know, like, I mean, you know, like how often? I mean, it is rare. Our people could tell us how many songs out there are there about dairy. Okay, like really,
Well, they really
not
have
meant.
just this one. No, and they
Yeah,
really have just this one. But
I see what the metaphor they used, but still, I mean, at least they're encouraging people to get into dairy. That's good. Even if it's subliminal.
see, it sounds like this, and like I said
Yeah.
earlier, their 22nd song "Pad Thai" that really showed the humorous side of them. You know, I
Yes, yeah.
think of them as a joke band, and not that the fact that they can't play, not that the band themselves is a joke, but the songs that they write sometimes are meant to be a joke. Yes, there is a little bit of truth in the songs they write, but on the surface level, when you first look at it, it's just a fun, jokey
Yeah, could
type of
be fun.
song, you know?
It's like Audio Adrenaline's song when they wrote Great Big House.
Okay.
It's the same idea. They wrote something fun, but if you really sit down, read the lyrics, you find that it's a bigger spiritual thing. But it was never meant. They even have talked about it in interviews. It was never meant for a heavy spiritual song. It was just something fun.
Right. Well, and Deliverance did that too on their album, What a Joke. There's a song on there called Chipped Beef or something like this. And all they're doing is reading out the recipe for chipped beef or something like this, you know? And part of it was that album was a contractual obligation record. They really didn't want to do that record. Were forced into it. So they started writing joke songs just to put on the record and try and get the record done. I don't think that's the case with One Bad Pig. All throughout their career, they've always had fun songs, joke type songs, as well as serious songs. So this, this is not a contractual obligation. They just like writing fun songs, and yeah, not a band to be taken serious all the time. Although there is some seriousness in their messages, put it that way.
You know what I've always wondered? Why is it there? I don't know if you remember back in the 90s, there was that Mekem Mavovich. He had fun making fun of modern songs. I always wondered why in the Christian music industry there was never really guys who were like doing fun songs like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was one guy, but he didn't last long because the
All right.
church just, yeah, my dad told me about him, and church just didn't. It wasn't the right time for it, and
Okay.
what it's all what that's about.
Right. All right. On to number 9, and this is called Bird Nest.
Gossip now has got your ears, drive away that last for years. Charge card better than a jet, now in debt up to your neck. In the dark podcast, and your hands are roaming far. You know how to drink and drive, will the kitchen net survive? See a birdie in the air, build a bird nest in your hair. When temptation comes, you say, why not take it all the way?
There you go. Bird Nest. Again, this is actually a little more serious, I think. Some of the verses get a little serious. Talking about temptation and falling into temptation, and I think it's more or less trying to legitimize temptation or sin, saying what's wrong with it, and they list all the dangers of some of the common sins, and saying, this is leading down a bad path,
I like that. I like the opening bass line. That sounded
right?
really cool. That sounded
All right.
very neat.
Yeah, throughout this, I don't have a problem with music. Basically what you hear is what you get. There isn't anything outstanding on this, but except for the occasional song, there isn't anything that makes me want to say this is a horrible record or anything like that. Okay. So next song was Up the Nose. We're skipping that. That's their 55 seconds song. It's a quick little song. Well, it's a quick little song about doing drugs and sending it all up your nose, and then it's all gone, and that's all I have to say on that. And it's not even like I said, it's a quick song. Into that, we're getting into another song. This is a little more serious of a message for them compared to what they've done before. This one is called Spirit of Murder. There you go. Any thoughts on that one?
Heavy. I like
Yeah,
the drums. The drum setup there was cool.
yeah. This one gets a little darker compared to the rest of the record. And still kind of fits in with the sound. Well, it's a little different sound wise too. Slower, heavier riff without being fast, and probably gets out of their punk roots a little bit. But I actually have to listen to this one a little more. And like I said, I've been listening to this record off and on and quite a bit the last week. This one never stuck with me, but now that I'm listening to it again, this might make a good one to put on my list of Christian Halloween songs.
No. Wow. Well, I thought it would be fast, and I like the word. I like how they put the words in there. It's simple. It's to the point. They must have a friend that they wanted to, you know, say it simple to them, right? So we're up. Yes. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you could tell that they I mean, but if they just want to scream sober, but they add more umph to it, right?
Yeah, they shift rhythms, they shift styles when it comes to the chorus there, and I think it's great. It's nice contrast that makes people kind of sit up a little more. And go, what are they doing now in this song?
Yeah,
And then
that's
it
right.
makes them pay attention to the words a little more. And it's a quick little song. This is like 2 minutes 40 seconds, so it's less than the average song. Not a lot of the songs are long. Like I said, they wrote some short ones. The longest song on here with Spirit of Murder clocking in almost at 5 minutes. First one, Take a Look at Yourself, was at 4:22, and coming up on the next song is also a 4-minute 22-second song, which actually we're gonna get into now. On number 14, this is called "Never Forget the Cross."
Times are hazy. Oh, I was crazy. I was more than just a little bit rash. When Jesus found me, he didn't stop me. My heart and mind, he has totally changed. I don't remember all the times I lied. Can't recall all the days I failed. Don't remember all the people I hurt. But can't forget the hands I nailed. Never forget the cross. Wow, never forget the cross. I will never forget the cross. Never forget the cross.
There you go.
They could have gone a lot longer with that song. That really had some meat to it, you know?
Well, they do. When you listen to the whole song, it's a 4-minute, 20-second song. Remember, we're not playing the entire song on the show
Okay,
here,
I
Chris.
thought, what the heck?
No. We have never played the entire song.
Okay, I was
We'll
like,
do occasionally when we have a guest on, and we might play the entire song of a guest. But otherwise, we don't play the entire song on the show.
right, yeah.
Uh,
I like that song though.
Yeah, it's a good song. Another serious topic, but important topic, I think. And this is kind of cuts to the chase of what the gospel is, and reason most Christians out there doing what they do, or what most people put their faith in Christ. And they write a song, would this be
Yeah,
an evangelical type song? Sure. It's not like, I don't know if they a song that, a lot of bands are out there preaching. Dale Thompson made a post recently that they're not an evangelical band, that they're not trying to preach to people. He says there's a lot of bands out there doing that. They'll go write songs about things that affect their life. A lot of their faith is in their music and the lyrics. Are they still a Christian band? As long as they say that, yes, you put your faith in Jesus, Jesus will save us and take us into his kingdom. I'll say that they're a Christian. I know Dale does believe a lot of things that I think are in error. But that's another topic for another time. This is a show all about the music. So,
yeah.
but yeah, Never Forget the Cross. Great song. Almost a
Mhm.
great way to end the record. That's not quite the last song on the record.
Forget the cross.
He says, you can forget a lot of things, but don't forget that.
Yeah.
All right, last song on the album is called "Holy My Lord," but they spell it with WHOLLY. So Jesus is Holy My Lord, and also a play on that popular phrase, holy, holy, holy type of thing. So I kind of, again, the bring the comedy back into the song, but still retaining the seriousness of the subject matter.
I want to truly say, you are God, you are my God.
There you go.
Now that was cool. That's different. They could sing. That I like that. That's good.
Actually, yeah, and as you get to the end of the song, after the solo there, they do a breakdown, and it's just the vocal and the harmonies going, "Holy, holy, my Lord." They can do it much better than I can, but but
Yeah.
you get the picture.
Yeah. My God.
So yeah, another great song. So what do you think of the record overall? Now that you've heard snippets of it, maybe this should be a reaction episode.
Yeah.
So
That was good. That was good. I mean, 3 songs out of the 10 I liked. That's all right.
so what you like? Never forget the cross, holy my Lord. There was one up. Where was it?
I think the third song I liked.
Yeah, ice cream Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. My 2 favorites on here, I would say, despite the fact that I was a lone-haired punk kid back in high school when this came out, I did like Cut Your Hair. It was one of my favorites. The second favorite on here would be hard. I like Never Forget the Cross.
Yeah. Don't forget the cross.
I'll probably go with those 2. I did like Take a Look at Yourself. Yeah, there's good stuff on here. As far as least favorite, I would probably say For a Good Man be my least favorite. Maybe Burn Nest. I don't know what my other least favorite one would be. I would just, I would have said Spirit of Murder. Going through this record, I might have to rethink that. So probably not Spirit of Murder is my least favorite. I would say For a Good Man just because it didn't really do much for me. But that's my thoughts on the record. Overall, it's not a bad record. I've got tons of music, so it's hard to say I listen to anything often all the time unless it's something brand new. But that's that. Yeah, so that's that. I do know for our next episode coming out, we are going to get back into our top Christian rock guitarists of all time, and we will be finishing off that list. So next episode, we're going to be counting down to number 1 for top Christian guitarists. So tune in for next episode for that. You got anything else to add about One Bad Pig, Ice Cream Sunday, or anything else, Chris?
We could put it to bed.
All right. That has been One Bad Pig, and this has been the Rock and Metal Faith Podcast. Keep on rocking, and God bless.
God bless. See you later.